war of words. A closed-door meeting about the U.S. battle plan in Iran leaves Democrats on high alert.
It is so much worse than you thought. You are right to be worried. Trump administration has no plan.
As Trump administration officials take fire for their spin on media reports of 6 U.S. soldiers killed in combat.
The press only wants to make the president look bad.
6 days into the strikes, are they still at a loss for words about America's strategy in Iran?
We're not at war right now.
I have to go back and look at the war.
Plus, how politics got personal when the Homeland Security Secretary was in the hot seat over her relationship with a top Trump insider and DHS advisor.
Have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Mr. Chairman, I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tabloid garbage in this committee today.
Then, Daniel Radcliffe talks about getting into funny business on the rise and fall of Reggie Dinkins and taking center stage for every brilliant thing on Broadway. And special guest co-host Elisabeth Hasselbeck. Here come Hot Topics with Whoopi, Sarah Haynes, Joy Behar, Anna Navarro, Sunny Hostin, and Alyssa Farah Griffin. Now let's get things started.
It's so like, I don't know, it feels like deja vu. I feel we've met before. I don't know why, but you all seem very familiar. I don't know why. But Elisabeth is back with us today. Hey, Elisabeth.
Hi. I so enjoyed your company this week. And it's only Thursday, and there's more to come, but I've truly enjoyed it. It's been a blessing, so thank you every day for having me.
She brought her husband today. There he is.
Yeah. I looked over.
I did some friends.
Hey, man. Good to see you.
I love that man.
Welcome
And my
back.
sister-in-law is right beside him.
Oh,
Kelly.
wow.
Hey.
Who is that?
The sister-in-law. We got some Hasselbeck punch and some friends as well, some birthdays, some Nashville, y'all. Hey, Dorothy and Jody, I love you. This is a
She
fun
brought a
crowd.
whole fan club here.
No, actually, it's my security detail, so we just go there. But it has truly been a blessing. Thank you so much.
It was
great
great
to
over
see
here.
you.
Yeah, it is great to see you.
We've had some good debates.
Yeah. Oh, wait, it's just going to get more fun. Because we're 6 days into the U.S. strikes in Iran. The Senate failed to pass a war powers resolution that would limit you-know-whose authority on military action. Administration officials also took heat yesterday for their comments on the 6 U.S. soldiers killed in combat. Let's take a look.
We've taken control of Iran's airspace and waterways without boots on the ground. We control their fate. But when a few drones get through or tragic things happen, it's front page news. I get it. The press only wants to make the president look bad, but try for once to report the reality.
Is it the position of this administration that the press should not prominently cover the deaths of U.S. service members?
No, it's the position of this administration that the press in this room and the press across the country should accurately report on the success of Operation Epic Fury.
Secretary Hegseth was complaining that it was front page news about these 6 service members who were killed.
You and your network know that you take every single thing this administration says and tries to use it to make the president look bad. That is an objectable fact.
I don't think covering troop deaths is trying to make
if you're trying to.
Well, so here's my question. Every president who has had a war going on has always allowed the press to talk about the deaths. They always keep it front and center. They're always a part of it because it's not just troops. These are American people. These are American soldiers who gave their life. So this isn't about the president. This is about we're losing lives, and that's what they're reporting. And sometimes I think, it ain't all about you. It ain't all about you. Take this. This is a real thing because, you know, this whole thing, and I know a lot of people don't agree, but what's frustrated me more than anything is, you know, usually when there is a plan, when they go out and they know they're going to do something, they're going to bomb somebody, they've talked to the American embassies to find out how many people are here, how many people are here. So they have some sort of plan to get them out. Is it always smooth? No, but there is some sort of plan to get them out. And the original, I'm sorry, Joy, the original response to Americans who were there on vacation was, you can't come to us to get you out. They have amended it, but this is the American embassy. If I can't go to the embassy because a war is broken out, who do you go to? I'm just frustrated by the whole thing.
I get that. I think war can be frustrating, and I think it can be scary, and I think attacks can be scary. When I think about, and I know Secretary of War Pete Hegseth well enough to know that he's heartbroken over the deaths. And he, through his service, multiple deployments in Guantanamo Bay, Iraq, and Afghanistan, understands probably more than most what it's like to lose a brother in war or a sister in war, the sacrifice that comes with war. And he will, in fact, be the one who will receive the bodies of the fallen when they come home and speak to the families first. So he's not flippantly saying this doesn't matter, nor is the president saying don't talk about it. He's saying report accurately, because I know from our military friends and family, they do not want to be pitied.
No.
There's honor in their sacrifice. And I think that maybe we're not used to hearing someone who's actually been in battle speak this way and clearly to the American people. Pete does have a way of speaking that's clear, and he's being honest and clear. And what I will say is, he brings that battlefield strategy with an Ivy League punch, which may be hard to digest in this time of war. But there's, in terms, the president isn't saying don't show those who are fallen on the papers. The president and his staff are just asking that we report accurately on this war, which is it bad that this regime leader is dead?
To the point.
Is it bad? No, it's good.
To the topic. Number one, I didn't know that the media was the government's PR firm. The media is there to report the news, period. And history is repeating itself. You said something that during the Vietnam War, the Nixon administration did not, and Johnson also, they were upset that the nightly news kept showing soldiers' caskets from the Vietnam War. So no administration wants bad news, and no administration in this country, apparently, wants the American people to see the destruction. They want it to seem as though everything is a big picnic or something. It's not a picnic. And American people deserve to see what is the reality when they're sending their sons and daughters into harm's way.
But it almost doesn't matter if you support this attack or don't, because there's always a cost. And the important part is that lost soldiers are not statistics, that we need to see their faces. Because I think even as someone who does support this attack, I need to always be reminded of the cost of what that is for us. You know, as someone, we don't ask our soldiers, do you agree with the mission? They follow orders. My dad fought in Vietnam. No one asked him, do you agree with this war? He did what he was supposed to do. So you look at this and the sacrifice they make, and I never think anything about American military should be minimized. It needs the front page. We need to never lose sight of the cost of what we're doing.
That's right. These are human beings.
And human beings and their families.
I think we're agreeing here, actually, at the table.
I actually agree with everything that's said, in the sense that I don't understand when honoring a fallen soldier is a PR problem. I just don't understand that. I don't agree with this war. I believe it's illegal. I believe it's unconstitutional. But I think, like Congressman Eugene Vindman, who said that it's disgusting and despicable that we honor that the administration is trying to make this about the president. It's not about making the president look bad. We must honor our service members, and we should. And I think we can all agree.
Can I ask you? I think we are agreeing that they should all go with honor, be received with honor, because they serve with honor. And they are the best of us are serving for the rest of us, and that they have my heart for life. I want to ask you why you keep calling this like an undocumented attack, that you don't agree with the war,
and illegal, unconstitutional.
So did you believe it was illegal in April of 2011 when the Office of Legal Counsel memo stated from President Obama that the president has constitutional authority to direct the use of military force in Libya because he could reasonably determine that such use of force was in the national interest prior. Congressional approval was not constitutionally required to use military force in these operations, where were you then complaining?
I agreed. Well, I wasn't on this show then.
No, but personally, would you have stood against that?
I was at home complaining. No, I wasn't complaining because the Office of Legal Counsel was involved. And the Office of Legal Counsel...
This came after.
But the Office of Legal Counsel is the office in the Department of Justice, because I worked at the Department of Justice, that reviews these things and makes legal determinations. This president doesn't go through the Office of Legal Counsel. This president does not go to Congress. Congress has the power to to approve wars. This Congress has the power of the purse. This president is acting more like a king than anything else. He is the commander. He's the commander in chief, but he is not a king. And so I think that this should have gone through Congress. I think that the American embassies should have been notified so that American citizens in the Middle East would have been able to get to safety. I don't think that this was done appropriately. I maintain that this is illegal and unconstitutional.
Do you like the result? Do you like the result?
No, I don't.
So you would rather the regime head and those 40, 18 leaders
I think
be in
since
place?
this is going to be a longer conversation, we're going to take a break.
Today?
And we're going back. And we'll be right back. Talking and I cut you off. What were you?
Well, there were just a few things in regard to what Sonny's saying about it being a legal war. Every modern president since Reagan has done this in attacks from Syria, Libya, Bosnia, Panama. So it happens continually to give it context. The other thing is the travel.
What does?
That Congress has ceded this power a long time ago. And I have a lot of criticisms on Congress, and this is one of them. If you want to be part of the conversation, don't hand your power over to the presidents, which they have done. Two, the travel policy. I wanted to look this up because there are a lot of Americans stranded. It ends up since the 70s that the government has put countries on certain warning labels like beware, but also it is not the government's responsibility. They won't have the capacity to bring everyone back. They've changed that because that number was not, they had a number you were supposed to call that.
Yeah, the numbers.
That was different. Yeah. But then the last thing is, the other day I talked about how whereas administrations change and it's always political, I trust often the generals in the military.
That's amazing.
74 retired U.S. generals and admirals came out endorsing this operation and saying that since its inception 47 years ago, they have been, this regime has endangered the lives of U.S. troops, diplomats, civilians across the Middle East and here at home. Death to America, death to Israel is a chant they have used over and over. I trust that these career military generals, you can't become a general if you haven't served your whole time. These career generals have seen stuff we have not seen. And the fact that they're coming out to say, you guys, this needed to happen, I do trust that.
But I have a question. I have a question. Like, a lot of them are saying, and like I said, I'm no expert on this. I'm just watching the news. A lot of people in the administration are saying that the reason this happened is because they were going to build a nuke, right?
Right.
I thought it was we were going to get struck imminently. That's the problem.
There have been two reasons given. One of the reasons was they had to strike because Iran was building
a nuclear,
had nuclear capability.
Yeah.
Yet a couple of months ago, President Trump said that program was completely eradicated. I also want to mention
President Obama signed something with the Iranians to stop the production of nuclear weapons.
Yes, that was.
And Trump tore it up.
Yes, that was.
Now, I was talking to my driver this morning, who brings me here. And
is he an expert?
No, but he watches Fox News. And he did not know that.
Yeah.
So he's blaming every administration. There was a time, according to what I'm reading, and you can correct me, you know more than I do, when Obama tried to stop it. And he had something in writing. They were doing it. They're years away from creating it because of what he did, and then this guy just tears it up.
Well, what I will say, though, in terms, Sarah, to your point, I do believe it's unconstitutional because the Congress was bypassed. But when it comes to the legality of the war, I agree with Senator Elisabeth Warren, who said yesterday, well, I think she's pretty smart, but who said yesterday that this is an illegal war because there was no imminent threat. And so the war was started under pretense. So we've had these different versions that we're hearing from the administration. Marco Rubio says, well, we had to strike first because Israel was going to strike.
Because the U.S. gave them the intelligence.
But then that gets walked back again, and then that gets walked back again. So I agree with Elizabeth Warren that this is illegal.
I wish you would agree with this, Elizabeth, right here. We're going to agree on, we have agreed on some things, even in the breaks, but I do have to say this is a geopolitical move of brilliance. It will be painful in the short short term. We will absolutely choke down China's oil access from Iran. We've done it with Venezuela. The Obama administration actually paid for the development of these nukes at some point. We have had imminent threat. Thousands of Americans have been killed by this regime, and they're payments out.
Are you willing to send?
Are
you willing to send?
So I knew this was going to happen, so we're going to go to break so that I can stay on and keep everybody off my ass.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Are you willing to?
Welcome back. It was day 2 of the DHS Secretary Kristi Noem's testimony before the House Judiciary Committee. And while her husband sat in the audience, the questions veered from political to personal. It was like many things. It was kind of a poop show. Let's take a look.
At any time during your tenure as Director of Department of Homeland Security, have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Mr. Chairman, I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tabloid garbage in this committee today.
Reclaiming
and
my
ma'am,
time.
one thing that I would tell you is that he is a special government employee who works for the White House. There are thousands of them in the federal government.
So reclaiming
and
my
as
time,
an advisor,
Secretary, you should be wanting to answer that question.
Is garbage?
Because it is not about
It is
your sex
offensive
life.
that you have brought
It is
that up.
about your
So
judgment.
that kind of
I really think you need to say the word no into the record so that you can clear that up.
I think the ridiculousness of this and the tabloids that you are quoting and referencing are insane. And this has been
So that's a no?
something that I've refuted
Is
for
that a no?
years, and I continue to do that. You
I
attack
was-
conservative women, and you say that we're either stupid
I haven't
or
said
we're
anything.
sluts.
All right, so listen.
And that's what you do.
Yesterday,
And I will tell
Richard,
you, sir,
yes, reclaiming
I
my
will tell
time,
you,
Mr.
sir,
Chairman.
I
Mr.
am
Chairman,
neither of
reclaiming my
those.
time.
Well, some people are saying, was that line of questioning fair game? But it has precedent.
Well, it has precedent, but I think it's
Yes.
fair game. I mean, they're asking her whether or not she had a relationship with a subordinate. That would be a fair question in any job. I mean, we have Representative Gonzalez, who now had an affair with a staffer who has admitted it, the Republican representative, and there's an investigation being
Had a
opened.
precedent.
And
The precedent has been set, so those are fair questions.
Yeah, I think it's a
now.
fair question.
Tough.
My issue is, where was the no? I mean, I've been married 27 years. If someone asked me if I had an affair with Corey Lewandowski, I would say no, right? So why didn't she just say no?
Well, it is under oath.
She doesn't want to be confused with perjury. That's why.
I think that.
Well, that's the implication, is
Well,
that she couldn't say
that's
no.
a big accusation.
But the implication
that's a criminal
is that she couldn't
accusation
say
that
no.
you're making there.
I'm not making any accusation.
I think that
I'm speculating that that's the reason.
Well, yeah, I think that if you're saying that, perhaps, and I think speculating is can be dangerous sometimes.
Why didn't she say no?
I think some people, when it comes to giving respect to tabloid rumors, just choose not to address them. It's a tactic that you choose either one direct answer or you don't give them any power.
Do you think it was an inappropriate question to ask if someone is sleeping with their subordinate?
I believe that it's a fair question to hold people that are elected and appointed to a high standard. I think we had the authority as Americans to ask our own president that, President Clinton with Monica Lewinsky. I think we have to hold people to a certain standard. I do think there's a big case of fominism going on when it comes to conservative and liberal women, when we should be backing each other to a standard and holding each other to a standard where we're not trying to say, hey, we don't appoint women to positions of authority and power, and then once they get there and they're not your political party, try to take them down and get in the weeds.
As an
when we're at
independent,
war and trying to control a border.
Our friend Liz Cheney.
Well, and as an independent, because I proudly don't wear a jersey, so I don't have to be loyal to either side. There were other. Well, sorry, I did not mean you enjoy, but. There were other more concerning things at this hearing beyond this very juicy question, which was how Corey Lewandowski reportedly fired a U.S. Coast Guard commander pilot after there was a service issue with the jet, and a blanket that Kristi Noem loves was not moved to the next plane, so they fired the pilot, told him to fly home commercial, but when they realized they couldn't get back in the jet without the pilot, they brought him back. That is a concerning way to run your business.
Which part?
All of it. All of it. A blanket, firing someone over a blanket when you're a pilot, a commander in the Coast Guard, is below
Well, he's
them.
also a volunteer special employee, apparently.
No, you're talking about
no.
Corey
I'm talking about
Lewandowski. So why would he have the power to fire a pilot?
That is beyond me. My point is just on that explanation alone, this was not how you run business, ever. And the other thing is the DHS skipped a competitive bidding process to give there were some Republican companies that were created days before they were given $20 million for some of the ads.
Lewandowski wrote approved that.
Right. What I'm saying is these were all brought up in the hearing. Beyond who's having sex with who, these two things are concerning to, and should be to every American citizen.
But it's connected to having a relationship with a subordinate who has outsized power in a position that
you're right. You're linking it, but I should already lose the popularity on those two things.
Everybody needs to keep it clean. I think
do you
is what we're
realize
saying.
that
Just keep it neat and keep it clean. We're trying to fight a war and keep our border.
To her left in the camera, there was her husband was sitting there while she was being questioned like that.
Sorry, it was 143 million. More offensive.
Nonsense.
Yes, her husband was
That's her
lying.
husband, not the one.
At some point.
It was to her left, to the guy. So, I mean, she's got to answer the question. Yes, I've been stripping Corey Lewandowski while her husband's sitting over there.
This is still based on accusation
She's so
and
busy
rumor.
between killing puppies, running her job.
Welcome back. Jessie Buckley, who's up for an Oscar, is ruffling some feathers over a resurfaced interview where she talks about the ultimatum she gave her now husband. Take a look.
Cats are mean.
Drop this, bro.
Yeah.
The cats they're too clever. Yeah.
I got like, my husband, when I started dating him, he had 2 cats. This is bad, so I'm going to get cancelled. But one of the cats was like a pedigree model bitch. And she staged like a coup against me. I'd come home and there'd just be like poo on my pillow. And I was like, it's me or the cats.
God,
but I won!
You won?
Meow.
So if your husband said it's me or the pet, how's that gonna roll with
It was
y'all?
really nice to know you for both of those dates.
Yeah.
Because the reason I fell in love with my husband was he'd never had dogs. I had 2 babies that I was obsessed with.
Baby dogs.
Of course, anyone that has dogs knows they're babies.
Yes, but not
They were my
everybody
babies.
has dogs, so you
Fur
have
babies.
to say.
Sorry,
Fur
translating,
babies.
they're my babies.
Yes.
That means they're dog babies. But he blended right in, and the way he loved my dogs showed me, they used to look at each other, and I joked on our wedding website that I think he said the L word to her first. But that obsession, that's Trixie, told me just how capable he was of growing, having never had that kind of love before.
Yeah,
So-
no, I think it's a deal breaker when someone doesn't love or at least accept your animals. Manny never had any pets, and everybody knows I have like chickens, and I have like
mini pony dogs.
I have 2 dogs that weigh 150 pounds, and I have several cats, and he lets one of the cats sleep with him. Yeah, I have a lot of cats.
Oh, look at that beautiful one.
Yeah, that's Luna. She hates everybody. But she...
Wow.
When you're that pretty, you can.
She sleeps on his face, and he hates it.
Wow, and he just loves you that much.
He does.
When we were dating, I told him I wasn't going to have a dog. And then...
How many do you have now?
We have one amazing, fierce dog, and he is so awesome.
And Tim, you love that dog, don't you?
Tim has come to love the dog. He loves how
What's
I love the
your
dog.
dog's name?
I'm not telling you. It's secret.
Is it Donald?
Yeah.
I have a funny feeling.
You know,
it
Joy,
might
I'm
be
really going to
Joy.
miss you next week. That's all I have to say.
Well, that went well.
Yeah, but if you had met...
My dog is named Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
And I had a cat. My cat was named Benito Mussolini.
Yeah.
I do remember your cat.
That's a good one.
So what would happen if you had met Steve and assuming they were here first, let's say the animals, and he said, I don't like the animals, what would you say?
He wouldn't move in with me.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Oh,
It's an easy one.
I have a cat.
you do have
But you've
tells
had
you-
a dog. Remember Beautiful Bear?
I've had dogs and cats,
I
but
love my dog.
nobody lives in me.
I was
but
going to
the
say, you don't
cat.
have people, you have
No,
animals.
I don't have people. I have animals.
That works.
I think you can grow into love someone's animal.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I can love strangers' animals on the
Yeah.
streets, and I do. They kiss me on the mouth.
Okay, that's too much for me.
Now it's too far.
I just
I don't
think,
know about the health
because they're
implications of
sitting
that,
there, they're
Sarah.
cleaning, they're doing all kinds of
I'm
stuff.
not
Anyway,
alone, am I, guys?
Elizabeth, save me. You have something you want the audience to know
save
about.
Oh, I do. Thank you so much. Okay, so there are an estimated 400,000 children in the foster care system, and our family has a huge heart for this. And so though we can only really help one at a time in our home, we decided to do something about it, and we hope that it's fun and great. And so we created this Yalsum bar. It's a snack bar, Southern Goods that do good, and every bar helps kids find their forever family. So when you buy this bar, you're doing good. When you taste the bar, it's yummy. It's protein with a purpose. Taste it. You're going to like it.
I need my gluten.
No, you don't. You need 13 grams of protein.
You need your protein. 13 grams of protein.
13 grams of protein.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's good.
And it does good. For more information on Yalsum, you can visit the View's website. And this bar that does good is going home with our good audience members today.
Yeah.
That's pretty Yalsum to me. Thank you so much. You like it?
The Dominic Hotel, proud hotel provider for The View, offers spacious luxury accommodations and sweeping city views. Just steps from the studio. Savor the day a little longer with relaxing treatments at the Sisley Spa or light bites at El Tacoy.
Welcome back. Daniel Radcliffe is working overtime these days. He's on Broadway in the one-man show Every Brilliant Thing and starring in the comedy series and the fall and rise of Reggie Jenkins as a filmmaker who's trying to help a disgraced football player rehabilitate his image, and he has his work cut out for him. Take a look.
No, I don't want to talk about the cat. I want to go find it.
Wait. Sorry, you're not seriously planning on going back out there, are you, after last night?
Last night was a good start. Every great cat finder starts with a few dogs. That's where the expression comes from.
But it's a fool's errand.
I don't even know what that means. Fools run errands all the time. That's why Wawa sells sushi.
Namath is your white whale, right? A lost cause. So why do you think that might appeal to you so much?
Hold up. You think the cat's a metaphor for something?
Yes, exactly. No, you got there way quicker than I planned, but yes.
Yes. Please welcome the fabulous Daniel Radcliffe.
Thank you so much for having me. Hi, how you doing?
So, honey, this comedy series
Very funny.
is from the same team who did 30 Rock, and you and Tracy you make a really great odd couple, I have to say.
Thank you.
What was it about this piece that made you say, hell yeah?
Oh, I mean, I'd worked with Robert Carlock and Sam Means, the show creators, and Tina Fey before. I did like a bit on a Kimmy Schmidt movie that they did, and so I sort of knew them and I loved them. And then they sent me this script, and it was to work with them again and to work with Tracy. Like, I was a huge fan of 30 Rock back in the day, so like the idea of like actually getting to be in something with him was so crazy and surreal and cool, and like so I read one page of the script and I was like, I'm gonna do this. I will read the rest out of due diligence, but like I'm gonna say yes.
So you and Tracy really hit it off. Did you hang out? And
I love him, man.
How funny is he off camera?
I mean, he's an insane person. Like, he will say 5 of the craziest things you've ever heard a human being say in your life every day.
Yeah.
But he's also like incredibly sweet and generous and kind and has this like actually very vulnerable side, which you get to know very, very well. I went round, he had everybody round to his house the night before we started filming. And, Tracy Morgan's house is just like something out of another world. There is like, he has sharks. He has a shark tank. He has a pool table that has a tank of piranhas in the bottom of it.
Wow.
He has a glass that was on the Titanic. He has one of Michael Jackson's gloves. He had like, it's truly like you were just walking around his house and it's like a museum, but also like, it's out of this world. It's really cool. So yeah, getting to
point about him.
You wouldn't, and I believe. I've also heard a story, I don't know if this is true, but when because Sherry Shepherd, who obviously used to be on the show, played his wife.
Right, yeah.
And on 30 Rock, and I've also heard a story that he maybe set fire to her apartment at one stage during their relationship. Well, I think accidentally, obviously. But yes, it was not a joke. But yeah, so he's amazing and unpredictable.
Anything is possible with
but
Tracy.
Exactly. But it's a joy to share the screen with him and get to do the show.
So Daniel, there's a running joke about you looking like Elijah Wood.
Sure.
Also known as Frodo Baggins
Yes.
from Lord of the Rings. Do you still get mistaken for him?
Yeah, that's like, yeah. We are kind of like we look different, but like the idea of us is exactly the same.
Yeah, the idea.
It's the idea.
You sound different because
idea.
Elijah Wood's from Iowa, little known fact.
And I do get. And also, he's a lovely man with a great career, so he's a very nice person to get mistaken for.
Sure.
And I will occasionally get, like, someone shouted the other day from a moving car. He was like, Frodo! And I never like to, you know, I'm always just like, yeah. Like, 'cause he thinks he met Elijah Wood, and he's happy about that.
And you don't want to let them down.
I don't want to ruin that for him. Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know people thought that about y'all as well, that y'all all look alike too.
Yeah, there's actually a really good, there's actually a joke about it in the Tracy show. We do, there's a good Elijah Wood joke later in that. And hopefully Elijah, I've met him and talked to him, hopefully he is still fine with me mining this for comedy.
He's probably answering back the same way.
Yeah.
But, so after winning a Tony for Merrily We Roll Along, because we got to talk some Broadway, you're now starring in the funny and touching one-man show, Every Brilliant Thing. Tell us about it and why this was a project you wanted to do.
So I read the script for this, and it's a beautiful play about a boy whose mum is struggling with depression, and a list he starts to make to try and help her through that, and how then the making of this list of brilliant things kind of follows him into adulthood. And it's a beautiful play in and of itself, but then the way it's done is with a huge amount of audience participation.
Yes.
So it really should feel like we are all making the play happen together every night in a really unusual way. I read it and I was like, oh, well, no one's ever going to ask me to, there's me getting married to somebody I just met on stage. So basically every night if the show starts at 7, say, I'm in the audience half an hour before, and I'm kind of meeting people as they come in and trying to like figure out who we're going to use for that night's performance, and then about 70 or 80 people will end up shouting something at the stage. But I give them a card and they shout the thing I asked them to shout. And then 5 people every night will be like in the play with me.
Wow.
And it's great. And it means every show is very different, but it's really it's
Well, how do people react when you approach them?
They are bewildered and alarmed. They are, like, particularly at the beginning of the show where I'm running around the theatre, you can tell I'm like trying to get past people. I'm like running up the stairs to get to the balcony, and I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm sorry. And people are looking around really annoyed, and then like, oh, I guess I have to let you go. Wait, what are you doing here? Like, it's a lot of that reaction.
How much fun is that?
Yeah, it's really fun.
Great. And they have to be so happy when they're chosen.
I hope so.
It's a lot of energy.
I think a lot of people are like quite apprehensive when they're chosen, but I think everyone leaves the stage having had a good time.
Talk about unscripted parenting.
Yeah.
You have an almost 3-year-old son, and I hear he's into big trucks and Disney movies.
Yeah.
And that he doesn't know, though. Is it true that he does not know you're Harry Potter?
No, he knows nothing about that side of my life.
Is there a plan to tell him? Has
Wait till he finds out.
He saw me the other day, actually, because we were watching the Olympics, and the Tracy show is on NBC, so it was getting trailers a lot. And that was the first time he's like seen me on something, and I had just left the room, and the thing came on, and he turned around to my girlfriend Erin, and it was like, said with a tone of like, I'm not crazy, right? He went, "What, Dada?" I had to be like, yeah. And then he was like, he just thought I had left the room, and then appeared on the TV.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I'm trying to keep him in the dark about as much. Like, there's this lovely period now where I am just his dad and nothing else. And I want that to carry on.
Another year.
Well, I was going to say,
longer, but yeah.
Pretty soon he's going to realize that his dad is Harry Potter, because it's been 25 years.
Yes.
25 years since you first starred in the first Harry Potter movie. You were 11 years old when you auditioned for the role. And of course, this is The View, so we have a clip.
Cool.
Take a look.
Harry, listen, you must really be upset about what we heard yesterday, but the thing is, you mustn't go doing anything stupid.
Like what?
Like trying to go after Black.
Why?
Because he's not worth dying for.
Do you know what I see and hear every time a Dementor gets too near me? I can hear my mum screaming and pleading with Voldemort. And if you heard your mum screaming like that, just about to be killed, you wouldn't forget in a hurry.
Wow. That is so good!
Thank you. I disagree, but thank you very much.
Oh my God!
You're very hard on yourself.
I mean, I've got more time for myself as an 11-year-old now than I used to. Like, now I can look at that and be like, okay, that's cute. But like,
you got the part. You can trust us.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
But you evolved it. That's the thing. Yeah. You went from that, which, in spite of what you think, it's really good.
Yeah.
Which is why you got the gig.
Yeah.
But you've evolved. And that's the beautiful thing.
I mean, I'm lucky. People gave me so many opportunities to do different cool stuff,
Yeah.
and I've just been like taking as many of them as I can.
Let me ask you, if your son, your 3-year-old,
Yeah.
wants to be an actor, would be okay with that?
I would rather he isn't. That's the thing. Me and Erin are both actors, so he'll see us being passionate and loving our jobs.
And he's going to see you as child doing it. So
I know. But
Yeah.
I hope that he will. I honestly, like, if he ended up behind the camera, would love it. Would really be into it. I just,
Why? The stress of it is too much.
I think it's also just like that. I feel like a lot of actors, so much of how we feel about ourselves is like tied into our work, and I would love him to get a job where his sense of identity and self-worth is not as tied to that, and he can just enjoy whatever on the side. But it may be on the side.
I love that.
Thanks. Cheers.
That's a healthy way of looking at it.
We'll see.
It's a healthy way of looking at it, but just because you don't want him to be an actor, now that's exactly what he's going to become. And then you'll have the job of saying, okay, this is what it takes. And then he'll stop.
Yeah, maybe.
It
Yeah.
works
That's the thing. I should try and push him into it, and then he won't.
Right,
that's what I should
Okay, I see you jumping up and down. Every Brilliant Thing is at the Hudson Theater right now through May 26th, and you can catch the fall and rise of Reggie Deakins Monday nights. Check your local listings. We, of course, will be right back. See? Behind the Table podcast today. We want you all to have a great day, everybody. Take a little time to enjoy the view. And please, just don't despair. We are all in this together, and we'll get through it, as we always do. We'll see you tomorrow.